Hello, my name is Ali Sharifara and this video is part of the Introduction to Programming using Java series. In the last videos, we learned how to write and run a Java program, and we learned about using variables, format specifiers in the print function. In this video, we want to write more programs, and at the end of this video, we are going to write a program to compute the gravity force between two objects. Let's get started. But wait, before that, I would like to talk about comments in Java. Comments allow you to make notes on a program for yourself and for other people when reading your code. Comments are ignored by Java compiler. And there are two ways for writing comments in Java. One way is using a slash slash or double slash for writing one single line comment. This is a single line comment. And the second way is for creating multiple line comments. We can use a slash star and ends with a star a slash. And whatever we write between these two will be ignored, between a slash star and a star slash. Right, so this is a multiple line comment. We can have it in different lines. All right, so let me create our main function. And in this main function, I would like to print something on the screen. Print something. Here, also, a single line comment can be placed at the end of a line. This is a comment. So comment here is we can write something about the statement that we have written. So here it's very clear that what this line does, but sometimes when we write a calculation or something more complex, we want to write a comment for that. So by using single line comment, we also can place it at the end of each line. All right. As we have discussed before, we have different versions of print functions. We have learned about println. Let me print here hello. And also we learned about printf. So instead of ln, we write printf. And we can write the same thing here. And the only difference here is println prints a new line after printing the string here, or after printing the argument, whatever we pass it to this function. But printf does not. If you want to do exactly the same, if we want to create exactly the same as println, we can add or place \n at the end of the print statement. So here, if I run this program, they are exactly the same. They do exactly the same thing, these two. The main difference between these two versions of print function is that in the printf, we can use format specifiers. There are several format specifiers that we can use in printf. Let's write them as a comment here. One of them is %d, and we can use %d for values of type integer. And the second one that we are going to use is %f, which is for values of type double. And the third one is %s, which is for values of type string. All right, so now let's write a program to print the number of days in the months of October, and also we want to print the average temperature in that month. Let's get rid of these few lines here. So first of all, we need to introduce few variables here. The first one is the number of days. it's integer, so I write here days is equal 31, and we want to write a string here, and it's the months, or we can write month's name or whatever name is appropriate for this variable, which is October. And in printf, I would like to write here there are %d days in the months of %s. I need to pass the values. The order is important. The first one is this %d, and I need to write days, and the second value is months. All right, and the second part is I want to change it to printf, and I want to write the average temperature of the month of October. The average temperature in, or I can write months of %s is, I need to declare another variable here, double, it will be temperature is equal to, let's say the average temperature is 56.5 degrees, and I need to write here %f because we have a double, and I need to write here degrees. Okay, I need to also pass the values. The first value here is %s, which indicates the months, so I need to write months here. And the second value is %f, which is for temperature. I need to write temperature. All right, so let me run this. And here is the result. There is a problem here. The problem is I forgot to add \n at the end of printf. As I said, if we add \n at the end of printing this string or this text, it prints also a new line, which as you see here, there is no any new line between these two printf. So I would like to add a new line. So I add \n, and also I can add \n here as well. All right, so let me run this one more time. Yeah, here we go. And we have, there are 30 days in the month of October. And the second message is the average temperature in the month of October is 56.5 degrees. I need to include the main function. And in the main function, I want to write a program to ask user to enter a number of weeks. And we want to convert that number of weeks to number of days. For example, if a user enters number 1, we want to return 7. And if a user enters number 3, we want to return 21, etc. As you may recall, if we want to get any input from user, we need to import scanner, right? So I need to import Java util scanner class. Let me get rid of these two lines. And after that, I need to create one object. Scanner input is equal to scanner system.in. Don't forget to add the new here. And after that, we want to prompt the user to enter a number. Please enter the number of weeks. And after that, we want to get it from user. I'm going to define the variable as integer. I name the variable as number of weeks is equal to the object that we have created, and this time we are going to use next int. Okay, now all we need to do is I need to print the number of weeks, which we have here, number of weeks times 7. Or we can do this math. I can create a variable. I can name it as number of days. Number of days is equal to, and I move this calculation from here to here, and after that I just need to print the number of days. And also we learned how to use format specifier. I'm going to change this println to printf, and I can write here there are %d in %d weeks. The order is important. The first one is there are %d. What we need to do here, we need to write the number of days as a first argument or the first value, and the second one is the number of weeks. Beautiful. I'm going to run this program. But wait, here we need to make a small changes. I'm going to change this to printf because after asking user, I want to stay in the same line. I don't want to go to the next line. And here I'm going to add the \n. So let's write this program. Please enter the number of weeks. I'm going to enter number 2, and the result is there are 14. Oops, we need to add something like days here, right? So let me run this one more time. This time I'm going to enter 5. So there are 35 days in 5 weeks. It's nice if we add one period here. So let me run it one more time, and this time I'm going to enter like 55 weeks. We have 385 days in 55 weeks. Okay, another program that I'm going to write here, we want to compute the average of 3 numbers. I can delete these few lines here, and what we are going to do is we want to ask user to enter 3 numbers, and user can enter any number, for example 3, 10, and 5, right? So 3 different numbers. And after that, what we want to do, we want to compute the average of these 3 numbers, right? So what we need to do is we need to write 3 plus 10 plus 5 and divide by 3. Okay, let's write this program. We have imported the scanner class. We need to create an object. Input is equal to new scanner system.in. In the next line, we want to ask user to enter the first number. Write a message here, please enter the first number. And we are going to ask user to enter an integer. So we consider the data type here, the type here as integer. It's going to be the first. So I choose variable name as first, and then input dot next int. We can copy these 2 lines for the second and the third one. So it's going to be the second, and the last one is third. Also need to change this message here, second and third number. All right, so far what we have done here, we have declared three variables, and we get three inputs from user. We assign the first one to first variable, and then we get the second value from user, we assign it to second variable, and we get another integer from user, we assign it to the third one. And all we need to do here, we can introduce another variable, but this time we should consider double as a type, because most probably the result is going to have floating point. I name it as result, or we should choose a meaningful name. I think average is a better name. And I need to write here first plus second plus third. We need to add these three numbers, and then we divide it by 3 because we have three numbers. And after that, we want to print it. The result is %f, and I need to write the value, which is average. All right, so let's run this program. Please enter the first number, number 10. Please enter the second number, number 20. And please enter the third number, let's say 4. So the result is 11. Let's run it one more time. Please enter the first number, which is 12, 17, maybe 10, and the result is 13. All right, so we have written few programs here. We have learned how to use format specifiers in printf. And now what we want to do, we want to compute the gravity force. Let's have a look at the problem that we are going to solve. This is the question. Computing the gravity force, and the law of gravity is F is equal to G times m1 times m2 divided by r squared, where F is the force of gravity between two objects, m1 is mass of the first object, and m2 is mass of the second object, and also r is distance between the two objects. So we have to get these inputs from user. We need to get the force of gravity between two objects. Actually, F is something that we are going to calculate, and m1 and m2 and r. For these three variables or values, we need to get them from user. And G here is a gravitational constant. If we head over to Google, we can search for gravitational constant, and here is the value, 6.67430 times 10 in the power of negative 11. So this is G, and we are also able to calculate this value, or we can put this value in our program. So let's do it. But what I want you to do, I want you to create a new class. We can name it as gravity force. All right, so let's write this program. First of all, since we want to get several inputs from user, we need to import the scanner class. Import java.util dot scanner, and after that here we need to create an object from a scanner class. We write a scanner in is equal to new scanner system dot in. Remember, S here is capital. And after that, we need to get 3 values from user. The first one is the mass of the first object, and the second one is the mass of the second object, and the last value that we want to get from user is the distance between the 2 objects. Okay, what about the type? The type that we want to get from user, it can be an integer or it can be with floating point. So it's better to consider the type as double. M1 is equal to in dot next double. And before that, we need to prompt the user to enter. Please enter the first math, and we copy and paste. M2, please enter the second math. And the last one is we want to get the radius. Please enter the radius. We get 3 values from user, M1, which is the mass of the object 1, mass of object 2, and the radius. And all we need to do, we need to put it in the equation. But we also have something like G, I need to declare it here, which is a gravitational constant, G here, and the value is 6.67430 times 10 power of negative 11. Right, so let me write it here. It's 6. The power of negative 11. And this is gravitational constant. And finally, we just need to place these variables into the equation. So the gravity, and also we need to declare a variable, double gravity is equal to G times M1 times M2 divided by distance, or the radius, squared. There are 2 ways to write the squared here. One way is to write the radius times radius, or we can use the math class here and radius power of 2, and finally we can print the result. The gravity force is %F, and backslash n is for creating a new line, and we need to print gravity. Beautiful. Right, so let's double check. Here we have created one object from a scanner class, and after that we have print function and asking user to enter the first math, and the second one we do the same, but this time we get the second math, and after that we asking user to enter the radius, and we have our constant G here, and finally we calculate the gravity and we print it to the user. Alright, so let me run this program. Oh, by the way, so let me run this program to see the problem, and after that I'm going to explain how to fix that problem. So I'm going to enter the first math is let's say 3 kilograms, and the radius let's say 5, And here the result is 0, and the reason is the gravity force is extremely small number, and here by default it displays 6 floating points. And if you want to change it, if you would like to see more floating points, we need to write here dot before f, and I add number 15 here. It means that I want to see the 15 floating points in the result. All right, so let me run this one more time with the same values. Enter 3, enter 3 and 5. So as you see here, this time we are able to see 15 floating points of the result, and since this is extremely small number, I had to add number 15 here. It means that I would like to see 15 floating points of this result. All right, that's all for this session. To recap, today we talk about different format specifiers that we can use in printf function. We talk about single line comment, multi-line comments, and also we have solved several problems by using variables, format specifiers. And that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching, and see you in the next video.